On his way to Saudi Arabia for high-stakes talks, Russian Foreign Minister Sergey Lavrov made provocative comments, fiercely rejecting any notion of territorial concessions in the peace talks. He dismissed such ideas as mere fantasies, setting the tone for the upcoming discussions. Russia's hardline stance is clear, as Lavrov emphasizes that they will not entertain any talks that involve compromising on the territories they've secured.
Look at the atrocities they commit in the territories, and you want even some thought to be present in the negotiations on the settlement regarding the fact that some territories still need to be ceded. How to cede with people, with Russians, or without people, with only rare earth metals. You know, in my opinion, let those who fantasize about how the United States can help the settlement. And we do not hide the fact that such assistance is quite possible, especially since the United States has played the main role in the Ukrainian crisis from its very beginning.
Lavrov and Ushakov are set to meet U.S. officials in Riyadh, where the discussions will focus on negotiating a peaceful resolution to the war in Ukraine and preparing for a potential summit between Russian President Putin and U.S. President Donald Trump. Lavrov's fiery comments underscore the tough stance Russia plans to take in these talks.
When we go to negotiations, what we do, first of all, what we want to do is to listen to our partners after the phone. When President Trump and Putin talked on the phone, they agreed on the need to put aside the absurd period in the relationship between the two great superpowers, when they essentially didn't communicate at all aside from certain technical issues. And the presidents agreed that the dialogue should be restored or resume on all matters that can somehow be settled with the contribution of the United States and Russia.
Kremlin spokesperson Dmitry Peskov confirmed the visit. The U.S. delegation will be led by Secretary of State Marco Rubio, joined by Trump's envoy Steve Witkoff and National Security Advisor Mike Waltz. The diplomatic outreach is a significant step toward re-establishing communication between the U.S. and Russia after years of tensions.
Today, Foreign Minister Sergey Lavrov and Presidential Advisor Yuri Ushakov are flying to Riyadh on behalf of President Putin. They are expected to meet with their American counterparts in Riyadh on Tuesday, which will be devoted primarily to restoring the entire complex of Russian-American relations. It will also be devoted to preparing possible negotiations on a Ukrainian settlement and organizing a meeting between the two presidents.
This diplomatic outreach follows last week's phone call between Trump and Putin, during which both leaders agreed to initiate discussions on resolving the conflict. Trump also briefed Ukrainian President Zelensky on the conversation, signaling a shift in U.S. policy regarding Russia's invasion of Ukraine. The potential meeting between Putin and Trump marks a turning point in the diplomatic landscape, with both sides ready to engage in serious discussions. Despite these developments, Ukrainian officials have voiced concerns over being excluded from the talks. Ukraine fears its sovereignty will be sidelined in the peace process, especially as Russia rejects any compromise on territory. Ukrainian President Zelensky has reiterated that Ukraine will not accept any peace deals that undermine its sovereignty, while European governments are pushing for a more active role in the peace process. As the situation unfolds, Ukraine remains steadfast in its position, with territorial integrity at the core of its demands. As the US and Russia move towards these pivotal discussions, the world watches closely, with rising questions about how shifting US foreign policy under Trump will impact the future of Ukraine and global diplomacy. With Russia's unyielding position on territorial concessions, the path forward remains uncertain, and the stakes could not be higher.